Well, one of the wondrous things that we have, you know, in this September season hunt is we do have the elk bugle. The elk has a very varied call. A lot of the older elks will just kind of growl and grunt at the end, and some of the elk, the kind of the mid-ranged mature elks, will actually have kind of a cow-like sound at first, and then to a shrill, high-pitched bugle followed by some chuckling. The bull got to about 40 yards, and there was heavy brush, mostly the huckleberry and snowberry brushes that were in there, and this wasn't a good shot. I had no shot, and we sat there and watched this bull bugle back to us and call to us and 2 or 3 other bulls that were in the valley. And it was really a spectacular sight to see him have to wait sometime because of the other bulls were bugling, and he had to wait his turn to bugle. And it was a very interesting observation of the finest quality of nature in the Rocky Mountains, I think. It was a gorgeous experience. Not much sound out of them anymore. No, about 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
They've been shut up for about an hour now, half an hour. So
I haven't heard a sound.
Let's back out of here.
That same afternoon, we went back out after a great breakfast at the lodge. Did a little hiking, found a few bulls in the aspen forest that abutted into the yellow grain areas, the CRP.
Nice right-handed angle here.
We come back to camp, got nice lunch and relaxed for a while, kind of got our mind off things, cleared our mind. I kind of like to come back to camp sometimes and just do some thinking, get off by myself for a minute and figure out what maybe I could have done different on that day or that particular hunt, everything else. We went back in that afternoon.
A lot of times what these bulls do is feed out of here onto these sagebrush ridges and stuff like that. And then in the mornings just start feeding back into here and stuff. And basically the same thing they did this morning. Wind's messing with us now, Bill. Hitting us right in the back.
Call the swirly wind.
Give it 2 minutes, oh, it'll change.
I'd been watching the paying attention to the weather a little bit, and they'd been predicting a storm front to come in. Boy, I tell you what, the conditions just totally changed on us. It really wasn't a lot different weather, but I don't know if the barometric pressure or what was changing. But between the weather front coming in and the full moon, just didn't get to experience the cow calling and the bugling in there that evening that we normally do.
The weather was starting to change, probably the barometer was dropping, and it seemed like the elk, although we didn't fully appreciate it at that time, the elk's behavior was changing, and they were becoming less active and less bugling, less cow calling. And despite all our efforts of calling and bugling and moving around up and down the canyon, we were really shut out by the elk. We weren't able to draw an elk in probably more than 200 yards. They came and bugled maybe once to us and then disappeared back into the forest. So it was a little disappointed. We covered a lot of ground, we worked hard, but we weren't very successful that afternoon.
Got up the next morning, flipped on the coffee pot, and was sitting there relaxing. I could hear this strange noise. So I walked up to the sliding door, and it's just pouring rain. So I put the coffee on and thought I'd just wait for, basically let everybody get up on their own. Enjoyed herself for the morning. Basically cleared up about 8:30, quit raining.
At 3 o'clock in the morning, I was awakened by heavy rain that lasted till about 7 in the morning. So the next morning we had a late start.
Sounds like he's raking a tree. Either that or he's coming.
You could tell just when we got out of the pickup that it was going to be basically the same thing we had the night before. They just had lost interest in anything. We saw a lot of bulls moving, you know, we saw a lot of elk up moving and stuff like that, but they weren't interested in a cow call, they weren't interested in a bugle, basically just off by themselves being elk.
We were a little discouraged and looking for something to satisfy us, so we decided to go ahead and have lunch, and we positioned ourselves into about 3/4 of the way up this canyon and had lunch there. In the meantime, Ty decided he'd hike to the top of the hill and do some glassing, and he found 2 bulls a little over a mile away on top of some CRP that were feeding, and it looked like they were moving down towards the canyon. I could just barely see the ivory tips of this bull elk. The really unknown aspect of an elk stalk is always the potential of totally blowing it. We packed up all our gear, crossed the canyon, waded through the stream, and hiked up the canyon wall on the other side. And we're very nervous that these 2 bulls had moved to the south and would be out of the area, but it ended up they were actually to the north of us where we were, which left them in a good stalking position because we had a wind coming from the north to the east, which wasn't optimal, but it was good enough to make an approach to these elk.
We headed up the hill, got to within probably, I figured, 200 or 300 yards of where the elk were when we'd headed into the canyon, and really had no clue as to whether they'd fed off bedded down, what they'd done. So we kind of popped over the ridge, and I just wanted to make sure that if they were there, we didn't run them off. So we took our time wandering up through there, finally got behind that one bush, and sure enough, there they were, still basically 20 yards from where we'd last seen them.
The really unknown and exasperating aspect of an elk stalk is always the potential of totally blowing it.
Move up, I got a shot.
It's been a great 3.5 days here at Canyon Creek, and we've had a variation of weather. The staff has been fantastic, Trent and Travis. It was a good shot, just right behind the shoulders. Got him, man. It was a good shot. It was a good shot, huh? Did you see it?
Yeah, we seen him from up there, yeah, and we seen that bull down to the right.
Yeah, and you know, when he was over here, I almost had a shot on him, but the brush was in the way. Yeah. Been just fun people to help make breakfast, get the coffee ready. I'm usually an early riser and help Bill in the kitchen. It's just been fun. Everybody's been very cordial. Weather's been beautiful, and I had the opportunity to have an outstanding harvest with a bow at 30 yards.
I don't know how he didn't lose his composure. He held his composure so well. Wandered down around the front side of the bush, which was basically the only way he could have done it. Bull went down, Ty gave a cow call just at the perfect time, and that bull stopped. Dr. Mueller just made a fantastic shot on the bull. Well, once again, Bill,
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate you coming out. It's been a fantastic hunt.
Yeah, it was a great
Hope
hunt.
you've enjoyed yourself.
Wonderful, wonderful host, a lot of fun. My wife enjoyed it and had a lot of fun.
Good.
You know, beautiful countries, had, you know, things to do and walks. It's been really fun.
That's good. Well, as long as you go away happy, that's our major concern right there.
Wonderful.
So. Well, we got a lot of work. We might as well get at her.
I guess so.
Yep, yeah, we get to, now the work begins.
The magic and mystery associated with elk hunting have an appeal that reaches deep into the heart of the American sportsman. No matter what part of this great land you call home, it's likely the piercing bugle of the bull elk rings every fall across the landscape of your dreams. The epic adventure of the pursuit, the astounding scenery of the countryside, and the adrenaline overload of close encounters make an elk hunt a life goal for countless outdoorsmen.
One of the things that's really unique about elk hunting in this country out here in the West is in the fall, the leaves will start to change a little bit. The grass will go from a bright green to a light yellow. And when all that starts creating, you hear the bulls starting getting excited. You hear them bugling in the background. It fires them up, and then the first snow will hit, and they just go crazy looking for a mate. And it's just kind of, it's a beautiful time out here in the West because it just gives you the mood to get out and become a hunter. Me and Travis go back a long time. We go back probably 16 years ago. We first met at the racetrack. The racehorse world is quite small. We've just been competitor and friends for a long time.
Danny had told me about a hunt that he went on to Africa, and I was really intrigued by it. And he says, "What else do you do besides horse racing?" And I says, "Well, ironically, Danny," I says, "I'm a guide. I do elk hunts for a living." And one thing led to another, and it ended up booking him a hunt to get him out here. As a guide, one of the most crucial parts of this job is to be able to get out in the woods and do some scouting, to know what you're looking for. We try and spend hours out there and figuring out the elk's habitat, what they're doing, their movements, and it really pays off. And besides that, it's a good stress relief for me. It's nice to move on to another area and just start studying the animals again, just letting them, not putting any pressure on them, just letting them be animals. It's a pretty neat deal just to sit back and watch them be elk. There's a little bull down there. Not a big bull, but the one thing you want to do when you're in here scouting is you want to slip in using the cover to your advantage and undetected as possible, because otherwise, if you run them out of here, the scouting trip was pointless. You just stay back far enough to let them do their thing and just get an idea of what their patterns are. Boy, there's a nice bull that's come out of that aspen patch, just bedded just about 10 yards outside of it. Got a good look at what's going on. That's a good bull. These animals are truly one of God's greatest creations. I get to hunt them every day for 2 months every year, and I don't ever get enough of them. Oh, okay. Look at this bull. He is hot on a cow's tail. Cow and a calf. Boy, they're just making circles down there. She's definitely an estrus or coming in, and wants nothing to do with him right now. He's rutting hard. Well, I think we've got a good spot to bring Danny in. A lot of elk activity in here, a lot of big bulls. I think we can get him on one, maybe get him on the one he'd like to take. That's why we spend hours out here doing this, is so the clients go away with a good feeling about what we've done and the time we've put in, besides just the hunt that we provide for them, is knowing where to take them. But I think we should be able to get him in here on some nice animals. And the way things are looking, I don't think there's any doubt about it if we just ease back out of here and don't let them know we were here.
Idaho's rifle elk season puts hunters in contact with the biggest mountain game when the elk's senses are at their most elevated. Wary by nature, the elk put hundreds of sets of eyes and ears together during the rut, making an approach all the more difficult.
First thing this morning as we started down through the canyon, we could hear some soft bugling, bulls in the outer mist. And as we got deeper in the canyon, we could hear a couple more bulls, so we started glassing around a little bit. Looks like they're feeding their way down.
Yeah, look like there's some real nice bulls up there. I think if we just work our way into the bottom, we'll get down there before they get down there. I think that's a good plan.
Yeah.
We just kind of slipped down this trail, an old road we have in there, and we're real quiet, and we could hear the animals going down in there. We'll come around, it kind of opens up. Maybe give out a call before we get down in there too far, make sure we're not gonna jump in a shooter bull or anything out of there.
Up on the top ridges where he thought they'd be coming down, we could see the bulls making their ways down.
Okay, there's a nice bull down there.
It's a nice bull.
That is a tremendous animal right there. I'm surprised a bull like that hasn't got himself some cows gathered up right now. While he's down in there, let's move down into this cover so if he comes out, we're not getting ourselves caught out in the open here. The bull just didn't present a shot. He moved on. We went on down a little bit further hoping that we could get around him and intercept him. I think if we slip down underneath this lip, get around this cabin, this old cabin, I think we can get right in behind him. He's not paying much attention to what's going on.
Sounds good. We took our time and we put a sneak on him. We got down low.
We got this old cabin between us and him. Should be able to move around there pretty good. The wind's still really good. Get around in here. Okay, that's good. Oh, they're going nuts. He's right behind that tree. Kind of see him. Let's see if we can pull him out of there.
There's that sagebrush and you got a good shot. Okay, anywhere near when he stops.
Right there. Oh, beautiful, beautiful.
Nice shot, man. that was beautiful.
Oh, that's great, huh? Shooting a bull is every hunter's dream. And when you walk up on a bull that close and he's raking his horns and you can smell him and you can feel him and your heart's pounding and your throat's getting tight, the excitement's like no other. Oh man, bro.
He's heavy too.
Look at that.
Oh,
Yeah, we got him, bro. Right on, bud. Check that out.
Look at that.
Wow. Look at the mass on that.
Oh, I know. That's incredible.
He is a wall hanger. Look at that.
Big wide bull, big heavy bull. Just palmation up top with both those stickers.
Man.
Wasn't the plan. The plan was to catch everything coming out of the CRP, but those two big bulls were down here.
Thanks, my man.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Oh.
He's a good one.
Yeah, now the work starts.
Yeah.
Gotta figure out how to get him out of here now.
Yeah, it's gonna get hot. We better get going.
Congratulations.
Thanks, bud. For me, just being out in these woods, it's a wonderful time. But it's just been a wonderful hunt. And you know, not very many people have that opportunity to come out and get a nice bull.
For more information about Canyon Creek Outfitters, call 208-351-1949 or go online to huntcanyoncreek.com.